Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Damas y caballeros, Chloes and Papis, Chihuahuas of all ages, and everyone else. Welcome to Binging Barbie. I'm your host, John, and with me I have my co-host. And who said you could speak to me? You look like a stray. How did you even get in here? Boscos terrible. As if there wasn't enough for your peasants.
Okay, enough with that fake accent. Everyone knows you're from the valley.
Oh my gosh, Jay. Like, why do you have to, point me out like that? Anyway, we're continuing our miniseries on Beverly Hills Chihuahuas trilogy, and we'll be talking about the second movie. Oh my gosh.
uh, I was watching the movie, and I have my notebook ready for to write down whatever the quote will be for the start of the episode. And I was like, oh, this quote started out pretty good, and then she said peasants, and I was like, oh, John's gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, no. Yes. Younger John would constantly call people peasants.
Yep.
For sure.
You were not a poodle, though, so.
I had a philosophy about that. It was like,
yes, you did.
Everybody's peasants under their king. So.
Yep, no, it made sense. I just immediately thought of you when. But yeah, this Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2 was released on February 1, 2011 on DVD and Blu-ray. I forgot to delete the other part of that sentence.
Because that didn't make sense. It's like, I'm pretty sure it released also just on TV.
Okay, so that would make sense, yeah. This is what Wikipedia said, so.
Okay.
But yeah, this was directed by Alex Zam, who is a filmmaker who has primarily worked on TV movies. Usually they're sequels to successful theatrical movies. So like Inspector Gadget 2, Tooth Fairy 2. He did the live action Woody Woodpecker. I think that was a theatrical release. But he's also done several Hallmark type movies, including Crown for Christmas and The Christmas Prince, which is a Netflix one.
Wow. It all makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, you can see those influences kind of showing up here. Yeah, the script was written by Dana Furman and Danielle Schneider. Both of them are actresses and writers. They both actually wrote episodes for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Clone High. And Schneider actually wrote for the 2022 Oscars.
You gotta start somewhere, I guess.
Well, this is much more recent than a lot of her other credits. Do you know the main event of those Oscars?
No.
That was the slap year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So not particularly fondly remembered Oscar year.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, then we have cinematography by Robert Brinkman, who was a cinematographer on a bunch of movies, including The Cable Guy and Rules of Attraction. And we have production design by Richard Holland, who was actually an art director on The Princess Bride and Batman and Robin, as well as a production designer for the live-action Alvin and the Chipmunks movies.
Okay.
That makes more sense with this one.
I mean...
And then we have score by Chris Hajian, who is a composer who has worked with director Alex Zam a lot, including on Tooth Fairy 2, Woody Woodpecker, and A Royal Christmas, which is another one of those Hallmark type movies.
Yeah. And the story is like this. So, after the events of the last movie, Chloe and Papi get married and decide to have kids. Their litter of 5 puppies puts a strain on their relationship as Papi struggles to discipline, leaving Chloe with the difficult part of parenting. Sam takes the dogs to visit his parents, the Cortezes, where he discovers that they are struggling to make mortgage payments and the bank is about to repossess their house. The dogs interfere when inspectors from the bank stop by, leading to the family getting evicted. Chloe gets the idea to enter herself and Papi in a dog show to try and win the prize money. Papi makes it to the final round, but is disqualified when it is discovered that he is not a purebred. Seeing this on TV, the puppies decide to take matters into their own hands, and they accidentally get caught up in a bank robbery, as you do, and are able to stop the robbers. The reward money is enough to cover the Cortez's debt. Oh, yeah. This is like every single plot point for every single TV movie, Hallmark movie. Just not that interesting all here. But it's Beverly Hills Chihuahua with
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very unfocused. There are so many things going on here, and it doesn't all come together. Like, there's the whole thing of Poppy telling stories to the kids, and like each of the stories has a completely like different message to it. Like that, or being brave is about overcoming your fear, and loyalty, and the power of love. And none of these are coming back really. I guess the being brave part comes back with the robbery, but it's not really tying into stuff. And then there's this speech that like Poppy's brother gives about like family is who you choose, not who you're born with. That doesn't really come back at all. There's just like the thing with the purebreds and like dog racism that doesn't get
Yeah.
addressed after that scene. It just kind of goes unremarked upon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if, I mean, this feels so much like they had an okay idea for like a 40-minute thing, and they're like, oh, we need to add another 40 minutes in order to get this to a feature length thing.
So let's add the dog show.
Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about the dog show. I have thoughts about the dog show.
Oh, the dog show. Yeah. But still.
Yeah, this would have
Um
felt so much more cohesive if they had just kind of chosen something to focus on.
yeah, like even though like it wasn't all that cohesive, it was like every element in this film is like, oh yeah, that's a plot element that you'd see in some other film.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
saving
oh,
the house from the bank. That's
and they
very.
say they do some sort of like show event where there's a grand
Yep,
prize.
yep.
Either they win it in the third act or they lose it, which leads to the convenient bank robbery where they just so
Yeah.
happen to
So
solve it.
I have to be honest. I was falling asleep like in and out for like the last 20 minutes of this. Did I miss something, or was the bank robbery just kind of happening?
So at the very beginning of the film, like it's a throwaway line that's like, "Oh, there's been a series of bank robberies going on."
Oh,
I think that the banker said it in his first scene to
okay.
the people, but like it's a very small detail.
Yeah.
But I think they said it one more time, but like it wasn't the main focus of a conversation.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was dozing off on and off for
Oh
like the last 20 minutes,
yeah,
and
I
I but the thing is, like, I could construct what happened based on what happened before. Like, oh, the kids were brave and stopped the robbers, and then the police showed up. And
I wanted to doze off, but I was like, I have to watch this for this review
listen,
thing.
I have gotten surprisingly good at dozing off during movies. I dozed off for a lot of the third act of Alien 3, where the alien is chasing people around the hallways, and I was just kind of sleeping.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah, I was awake for the most important parts,
Okay.
but I think here
Well,
I was also awake for the most important parts. Just tough to get into.
uh,
Also, the puppies are annoying.
of course, yeah.
They're the classic kids movie characters of like they're constantly getting into trouble and doing whatever.
That's what Chihuahuas do.
Yeah.
They rip everything apart. I should know. I had
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Did it send messages through tunnels?
That dog was weird. Like it did some. I can't talk about the things the dog did because like it's not safe for this podcast. But that was a weird dog. Ran away so many times. When we had to move away, leave the country, we gave it to a different family. Then the dog ran away, and it was never heard of again.
Oh boy.
That dog just had a really free spirit. It just didn't care at all. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go explore and cause mayhem.
I mean, it makes sense for a
Yeah,
Chihuahua to do.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah. The plot is just it's so uninteresting. It's
And it,
like
yeah.
again, it's like every element of a TV movie. If you've seen enough TV movies, you don't need to watch this. You can just guess the plot, and it's
Yeah.
probably the case.
But it also takes so long to happen. Like the main plot of the movie of like they're losing their house doesn't get introduced until like 30 minutes in, and then it's another 30 minutes before anyone decides to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Yeah, no, yeah, the first like 40 minutes to an hour are just have very little to do with the actual central conflict of the movie.
Like I don't know, like, there's just like weird story choices that are made. Like
Yeah.
Delgado like puts his sons to LA because he's worried that dogs are gonna hunt them down because he's a cop. It's like
Yeah.
what? What is
which
this?
which is something that, you could build something off of, like, oh, seeking political asylum. You could turn that into some kind of statement, but it's just another message that gets added on. And since this is a Disney movie, they don't want to like wade into that. It's just like hand waved away.
It's so weird. It's like what? what? What is this? No, it's just as a sequel, it's not very good.
Yeah.
It's such a downgrade. It's like we forget a lot of elements of the first film. It's like, oh, what happened to Chloe's bark? Where was
Yeah.
that? No, that's just forgotten. Chihuahua warrior stuff. That's just Poppy telling stories.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I don't know if you had the same experience as me, but we're an hour into this movie and it feels like nothing's happening. And then they're like, we're going to do the dog show. And
So
suddenly the energy of the movie just spikes. And it's like, for the dog show scene, which is like, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, it's just like suddenly so there's stuff actually happening.
so have you ever watched Sweet Life of Zack and Cody or Sweet Life on Deck?
No, I have not.
Well, there's a character in those shows called Mr. Mosby, and he's like the manager of a hotel, and he is actually the main judge
Okay.
of this show. And it was like I saw him, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's just Mr. Mosby, and I just that was the only thing I cared about was just him. Like, yeah, this film was on the Disney Channel, and I
Yeah.
watched it on the
Yeah.
Disney Channel. Like, you have a lot of Disney Channel alumni just in this film. So,
Yeah, I did look briefly into some of the cast, and it was like, oh yeah, there's people who are familiar to this kind of like Disney Channel type stuff.
but
But
like,
yeah,
we'll get to the cast later on. But it's
yeah.
like, oh, okay,
Which
yeah,
I thought that part of the movie was the most entertaining part of the movie because it felt like
yeah.
we had actors who were going for something, who had energy. We'll talk about that with performances and actual stakes. Like the stakes had been set out, and the way that they were going to deal with those stakes had been set out. So now it's just, oh, let's do this like weird dog show for 15 minutes. And then it's like they lose, and now it's like, oh, there's still another like 15 minutes left in this movie.
Bank robbery.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
what?
I mean, that dog show was just wild.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, um, you have this one dog who's painting,
Yeah.
and then you have Chloe who's playing the piano, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, she missed one note.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, sucks. I mean, they were self-aware about that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
come on, it's a dog playing a piano. It's like, oh, if you can't play perfectly, don't play at all. It's like, what?
But tell me this. So imagine this movie, but the first 20 minutes they establish the status quo, and
Hmm.
then most of the movie is them doing the dog show type stuff.
Hmm.
It's so much better because now they focused in rather than having this like 40-minute chunk at the beginning of the movie that's just people wandering around doing nothing. Now you actually have a structure, and you can have, the weird judge. You could have all of these other weird competitors, like the four little dogs that keep like laughing at people. Like, you could build stuff from this, and that's where it feels like it's actually engaging with the premise of what if there was a Chihuahua in Beverly Hills.
Hmm.
The rest of it is just like going to meetings at the bank.
Yeah, yeah. There's just a lot of putting the kids to bed and telling them stories or
Yeah,
lessons.
that then don't really come back to the lessons of the movie. And
Yeah, yeah.
like, it would be standard kids TV stuff. Still, it would be the show that saves the house, but at
Yeah.
least that's more structure than they have here.
It's like, all right, we'll do a bank robbery.
Yeah, I mean, you could even keep the bank robbery in, but maybe expand it a little bit more so it ties in a little bit better to the plot, so that it
It's
doesn't,
like,
because like the way this all plays out, the fashion show is entirely unnecessary because it changes nothing since they lose.
yeah,
It doesn't. None of the characters grow during this competition. There's no there. It's just like a cul-de-sac in the plot that just also happens to be the best part of the movie.
yeah. Even though a lot of it was completely unsensical,
Oh
and the
yeah, no.
judges were just like needlessly harsh in their
Which,
criticism.
yeah, which you can dig into that. Is the judge a bit corrupt or a bit biased towards the poodle?
I, I don't know, probably, but like knowing the character from the other Disney Channel shows, it's like, I feel like that's like, okay, snobbery. That's what they're
Yeah,
gonna go
yeah,
for.
yeah. No, you could build on that so
Hmm.
much better than what they do. So yeah, I gave the story a 1.5 out of 5. That's maybe a bit generous, but oh well.
I was gonna give it that, but then I thought that's probably too generous. So I gave it a 1.3 as a good compromise.
Yeah. Now next up, oh yeah,
So before we move on to talking about characters, we wanted to take a second to talk about our new Patreon page. It just went live like a while back, and we already have all kinds of exclusive content, including show notes, our bonus miniseries on Barbie TV shows, and even early access to next week's episode on Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3. It's only $2 a month to join, and you'll be helping us make this show the best it can be. So go to patreon.com/binging podcast and start supporting this show. That's patreon.com/BINGINGBARBIEPODCAST.
so yeah, the characters. First up, we have Chloe. I
Chloe.
I like this idea that she is trying to figure out how to parent well with Poppy, and that she's frustrated at having to be the more sort of responsible parent. But they don't do anything with that.
Yeah, and it just feels like that her character is so mellowed out as
Yeah,
compared to the last film. It's like, interesting.
which could be a thing of like, oh yeah, she's trying to be the more responsible parent, so she's a lot more mature. But yeah, I don't feel
Yeah,
like that's intentional. I think that's just how how things shook out here.
I mean, it's also just a byproduct of like the cast, but we'll get to
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I like this thing with the fashion show of her like confronting the snobbery of Beverly Hills. But again, that doesn't go anywhere because that plot point is a plot cul-de-sac where nothing happens.
Yeah, no, yeah. Most of this film, instead of focusing on Chloe, it was more focusing on Poppy, which I felt like Poppy needed some stuff since the last film didn't give him anything. But um, I don't know. It was just he was just there. Like
Yeah.
he's trying, but like you know,
He's not trying too hard. I
I
I,
mean,
I didn't
you,
really care for him too much because he needs to take more responsibility. But that isn't really any of the lessons he learns. Again, the first half of the movie feels so disconnected because they're setting up themes that then don't go anywhere and character arcs that then don't go anywhere.
it really feels like they were kind of hinting at the main divide between the parents. It's like, okay, since Chloe is more part of this natural lifestyle and Poppy is more of like the down to earth dog, that there's different perspectives that they're trying to do, but like they don't focus that on that at all. It's
Yeah.
just Poppy just does what he does when he needs to. He tries
He
and then
keeps on telling
fails.
stories to the kids even though it always ends poorly. Like you think after the second time he would be like, "Oh, maybe we'll not say this story right now."
I mean, also the kids are just taking the complete wrong message out of the
Yeah.
stories as well, so there's that. But I don't know, like, so like going back to the dog show, a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah.
Tangent.
Yeah.
So, like, Poppy almost wins by just getting a bunch of flowers and making a heart, but you have a literal dog who painted,
Yeah.
and you have Chloe who did the piano, and Poppy almost won by just making a heart with flowers.
Yeah. It is. I don't know what's up with that part of the show. I feel like they should have come up with better talents for all three of the dogs that do it.
Sure, yeah. It was a cute sentiment, but like,
Yeah.
why?
I do like that he gets close to winning, but then they do this thing of like, oh, he's not purebred, so he can't win, and then they just don't acknowledge that later. Like it's just like,
No,
oh, he lost and that's it. There's no justice for that, which is maybe more accurate to how it would work in the real world. But it's like this is a movie. You have this entire plot line that then just again, it's a cul-de-sac. Nothing. It doesn't go anywhere. It just doesn't matter.
yeah, like there was really no resolution at the end with him in the family. Whatever. Maybe there was, and we just completely forgot about it. But like, it must have not have been that important enough for us
Yeah.
to notice if there was. So
Yeah. Now we also have in the dog show Delgado showing up.
Delgado,
I was a
I
little bit disappointed to see him show up after the last movie.
he just shows up
Yeah.
out of nowhere. It's like they kind of have to shoehorn him in. So like, what are they gonna
Yeah.
do? He has sons now that he brought to America to keep them safe from this. random criminal organization.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
His subplot could have been more interesting, but it's so sidelined that it just doesn't.
Yeah,
It
it
feels like
got
an
so
afterthought.
sidelined that when they had to solve it in the end, it's just very quickly, and it happened off screen too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the puppies tell his sons off screen, and they're like, they show up, and it's like, "Hey, Dad, you're cool now."
Yeah.
I mean, sure, happy ending. He gets to stay with him in the end, but it's like, what?
Now we also have Poppy's brother Pedro, who's
Pedro.
just kind of in the background doing it whatever it is he does.
Yeah, he was there.
I
He
don't
has,
understand his narrative
and
function beyond to have another dog in the movie.
that's probably it. That's
No.
probably it.
We also have the puppies. I don't like them. They aren't even like they don't even have distinct personalities. They're just all
Yeah, I feel like the puppies from Barbie have more personality than these puppies,
yeah.
which I think they fix that in the next film.
Okay.
I think we'll see. Like, it's probably still not that great, but I remember there's probably a little bit more personality in them in the next one, but we'll see.
Yeah, then for the human characters, we have Sam, who I thought was just so bland.
So bland. Ah,
And
so
we'll
bland.
have to talk about the performance because I think that's at least part of it. But yeah.
Yeah,
Also, why was he living in Aunt Viv's house at the
I
start of
don't
the movie?
I don't know.
Because he's living in the same house as the dogs. Was he dog sitting while Rachel and Aunt Viv were off wherever they were?
They were the juggle doing research, but Aunt Viv is a businesswoman.
Yeah, no, what were they doing?
Like again, it feels like that TV thing to just, okay, we can't have these characters here. What do we do? Oh, random safari in the jungle. But
Yeah.
it's like, Aunt Viv is a businesswoman. She could just go to Italy and
And
do
it doesn't
business
help that
there.
none of these people are played by the same actor, so they feel like entirely different characters.
Yes, they do. It's so it's so weird. It's so weird. We'll get to that, but still.
Yeah. Then we also have the villains here. We have the evil banker, who's
Yeah,
just an evil banker. Like, there's not much else to him. I was thinking maybe he's a little bit too evil. Like, what if he had been a little bit more sympathetic?
sure.
You could have done something with that. Been like, oh, but yeah,
I
no.
was I was half expecting him to be part of the bank robbers team.
Yeah, that would make more sense
Yeah, because
than
like
just
thinking TV movie, it's like, oh yeah, that's a thing you do.
yeah,
But no, he's just needlessly petty.
yeah. And we also have the evil poodle who when
Oh,
she showed up at the beginning, I was so excited. Like, I can't wait to see more of this character because she's just so mean and fun. It's
oh
like
yeah.
I want to see everything she does. I want That's also part of why I'm like, oh, they should have just made the dog show like the full thing because it's like you
Hmm.
have an interesting villain with this evil snooty poodle. So much more interesting than the banker. But it's like,
Yeah.
no, she disappears for most of the movie and then wins the competition and then disappears again.
Uh huh. Yeah. It was there. They did stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I did like, I mean, everything with the dog show, the commentators were hilarious, I thought. Not like laugh out loud hilarious, just like when the one commentator says Fabu, and then the other one's like, "Ooh, I like that word," and then starts overusing it in every sentence.
I mean, that the line "Fabu" had been used throughout the film so many times.
Yeah,
Outside of that scene, it's something. Fabu. That's like an old term.
Yeah. And then Mr. McKibble, the judge, I just thought was so funny.
Yes.
Just like that classic. Again, similar to the evil poodle. I'm like, these characters are so much more interesting than this evil banker.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, and we also have the Cortez parents. They're very like TV parent, like adult parent, whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, I gave the characters a 2 out of 5 here for all of the stuff with the dog show. Everything
Yeah,
else is, and I did find Chloe like at the beginning of the movie a little bit more compelling than when they kind of just dropped all of her
sure.
arc
Yeah.
or anything.
I also gave it a 2.
So
Oh
next
boy.
up we have the visuals.
Oh boy. Man.
You can really
Again,
tell this is lower budget, lower standard.
so much lower budget.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the cinematography. Just think about the last film, which like you could tell had a high budget, and this one you can really tell it doesn't have the same budget. Like
Yeah.
the mouth flap VFX are just dogs sitting there with that CG mouth flap going. Where in the last one it was much better integrated. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
it's that TV quality of movement.
Yeah. It is not particularly great.
Like it wasn't even very dynamic. They're just sitting there
Yeah.
blankly, like like they're barely doing anything to make those dogs seem or act like they're talking. Like one or
Yeah.
two shots maybe, but for the most part they're just staring blankly with the mouth movement. And there's just a lot of conversations with just the dogs staring blankly and talking. It's like
Yeah. I will say though, I think again, the fashion show is the most energetic part where we're getting more sort of editing stuff going on and the production design is better. We get all of the like stylings of the dogs, but some of the costumes looked terrible, like
yeah.
Spirit Halloween costumes. But
Yeah.
some of them were better.
So, remember how in the last film we were praising the film for not using the Mexico filter?
Yes, it does. I wrote that down. This one uses the Mexico filter.
Yes, for the flashback Aztec stories.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Also,
oh,
did you catch? So they're doing like the flashback, the first flashback to like in ancient times. They used footage, like stock footage from Machu Picchu.
I don't know if I exactly caught that. But like I
Or,
noticed that they were
or
using like stock footage for
yeah.
Beverly Hills.
Oh yeah, Beverly Hills is so much stock footage. But no, this it's like it's no, because it's like Aztec is what they're flashing back to. That's in Mexico. Machu Picchu is in Peru. That's Inca. That is an entirely different civilization.
Yeah.
That is like no, it doesn't work. That's not. That's like me using footage of the Great Pyramids of like back in ancient Germany. Like no, that doesn't work. They're completely different societies.
Yeah, definitely.
Their architecture looks nothing alike.
hmm Yeah. No, the visuals were not pretty at all to look at. Just
Yeah.
again, if this was just a standalone TV movie, you wouldn't think much about it. But this is a sequel to Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Which I'm not as in love with the visuals of the first one as
But
other
like
people are.
the
But
standards are just so different between the
yeah,
two. Like one you think more of than the other, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And much. How do you do that? Why?
Again, just Disney
Yeah,
Channel. They don't. There's something over there.
yeah. I gave the visuals. I need to lower that for the Machu Picchu thing. 1.5 out of 5. The fashion show, I want to give it more for the fashion show, but the Machu Picchu thing is just
There, I adjusted my score. So I gave it a 2. Yes, just talking about it just made me think, oh yeah, it's not that great.
yeah, I've had that multiple times. I've lowered my scores since before we started recording. But yeah, on to the performances. Everyone except for George
George
Lopez.
Lopez, it got recast.
Yeah, which makes me feel kind of bad for George Lopez. Like, why is he the one that stuck around? Because
Be-
this will happen a lot of times with like it's a little bit sad when it's like the franchise they're doing another one and it's just one of the cast members that shows up again and you're like, oh, I guess either they got paid, they're the one person that got paid enough to return, or they're in a place in their career where they are doing the sequel to Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
or like they're just the one thing that stands out when people think of Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Oh yeah, George Lopez was that main Chihuahua dog.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks about anything else because George Lopez stands out so much for just being George Lopez. And it's like, sure, yeah, technically they're right about having Lopez be the most important casting, but like everyone else, that wedding scene was so confusing because
Yeah.
I look at all these characters and it's like, who's that? Who's that? Is that supposed to be Sam? Like, that's definitely not
Yeah.
Rachel. Like,
Yeah.
that's definitely not Aunt Viv.
No, yeah, I know what Jamie Lee Curtis looks like. That is not Jamie Lee Curtis.
Like, yeah, like what happened to her hair? It's not even the same color.
No.
Uh, and then again, sure, yeah, the voices sound different. Like
Yeah.
that's expected, but like,
It took me a little bit to get used to, especially Odette Yostman as Chloe.
yeah, oh yeah,
She has such a different energy. Drew Barrymore was a little bit more, I don't know, like almost more laid back in like that Beverly Hills doesn't have a care way.
yeah.
Whereas Odette Yostman is adding a lot of energy that doesn't quite fit the character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the one recasting that I didn't really notice much was Erin Cahill as Rachel, and I think that's just because A, she doesn't really do much, and B, oh, who played Rachel in the last one? Because she was not a standout in the last movie, so
So the reason why like it's just the wedding scene and like
yeah,
their hair was so different, and so I don't
yeah,
know, like she looked so different in the wedding scene than she did in the last scene. In the last scene, it's like, okay, I can see her casting. She kind of looks like the character, but that wedding scene, I'm like, who the heck is that? Looks nothing like the
yeah,
character. And again, first impressions, like they're very important.
yep,
Like you have to sell that that's the character, and they chose the wrong hairstyle to introduce that character to make us think, oh yeah, that's that character.
yeah. I think that's especially for Susan Blakely as Aunt Viv. Just, I mean, it's tough to replace Jamie Lee Curtis,
Yeah,
so I can't give her too much. Like with all of these people, it's like they're stepping in for actors who already originated these roles. Now, I do think the new people are a little bit better, but yeah, I think the worst recasting here is Marcus Coloma as Sam, who maybe
oh
it's just that
yeah.
this is a TV movie, but he has no energy.
He has no energy. He has no accent whatsoever.
It's
Like,
just like the first line he says is like, "I was so excited to do this wedding." It's like no emotion at all. It's like, really, were you so excited? And like again, it's like the character isn't well written, so the actor needs to do more work if they're gonna get us invested in the character. And since Sam is the sort of the human characters, the main one we're focusing on. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
he looks so much younger in this film. It's like, oh, he's just
yeah,
a
he does.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a real shame.
Now,
It
I do
is.
think to get to the good performances, Phil Lewis as the judge for this dog fashion show, and also Morgan Fairchild and French Stewart, who play the commentators, are both
Mhm.
excellent. They are all matching the energy of what this needs to be, which is like a little silly, a little elevated, just like adding energy in, being a little bit more manic.
Man, I want to see Phil Lewis in more things. Like I really loved him
Yeah,
in the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody shows. It's like
yeah, I'd recognize him if I rewatched that. Um,
for sure. Yeah.
and yeah, he I thought was just excellent here in capturing this character.
He has
And
so much energy.
yeah, no, it's like he shows up again. The fashion show just adds so much energy to the movie that I'm like, I wish this was the movie, because you have actors with a lot of energy, and you have the editing and the visuals suddenly get so much better for this like 20 minutes of the fashion show, and that it's done.
And then you
No,
have the banker who
yeah,
I think that
Buchanan.
actor just one of his things is probably that he tries to do Jim Carrey in
Okay,
his because a lot of his movements and just the way he does things is like, I'm getting Jim Carrey vibes from this guy.
okay, yeah.
I think I
I
saw that maybe he did commercials in the 90s where they couldn't get Jim Carrey, they'd get this guy or something.
Okay. I mean,
I don't
yeah, that
remember.
that would make sense to me, just given his energy in this is very very specific, and I wasn't particularly a fan. I should
Not
look.
for this film. No.
Yeah,
It's kind of out there for sure.
yeah.
He's in he's also part of Sweet Life. I don't
Okay,
fully remember his character there, but it's not it's much more subdued there than here.
yeah. I'm looking him up on IMDb. A second. It's taking a while to load. Okay, he's apparently on Young Sheldon. Oh,
Well,
and Green Book, Academy Award winning movie. Disappointingly.
well, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Looks like he's doing a lot of more like TV comedy.
Hmm.
I did think the other two performances that kind of worked in this for me were Lupe Ontiveros and especially Gastulo Guerra as the Cortezes,
I mean,
the
yeah,
as Sam's parents.
they're the parents type.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think especially Gastulo Guerra added a lot of weight to that character. Like, yeah, I don't know how to put it exactly. He just had a commanding presence
Sure. Yeah.
that I felt a better script would have, or a better character, he would have just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I wasn't vibing with any of these characters too much.
Yeah. Elaine Hendricks was the owner of the poodle. I thought she also had some good reactions in there.
Hmm.
And who plays the poodle? Bridget Mendler as Marie Apolline Bouvier, the poodle. She's doing
Uh-huh.
the fun French accent, so
Also, thing to point out: Ernie Hudson from um, Ghostbusters fame is Pedro in this one. So
Yes.
just a
And
random casting. It's like Ernie Hudson. Why?
and also Tom Kenny as Sebastian the Pug, just going full gay voice, like not even. It felt a little subtler in the last movie. Here he has the full lisp, and like they are not trying to hide anything about that character.
No. Yeah. I mean, Tom Kenny does a good job. Like
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
I would have wanted to see more of that character if I had it my way. Just
Probably, yeah, it would make so many scenes so much
especially
better.
especially since they're doing the dog fashion show, like have him keep
Yeah.
popping up, and I think he did comment on stuff, but you can get all of Chloe's friends, like give Chloe more scenes with her friends, even to give her more to do. So yeah, I gave the performances overall a 2.5 out of 5. I think there's a lot of good performances outside of the main performances.
Yeah. Um Typically I'd think for like a TV movie like this, I'd give it a 3. But again, because this is a sequel and you recast almost every character, I had to give it
Yeah.
a 2.5 because barely anyone landed their character.
So yeah, last up we have sound. Um, I liked at sort of the reception to the wedding. They play an actual Mexican song, like
Yes,
rather than the
sure.
sort of like the pop they were doing in the last movie. That's like, hey, we're in Mexico. Here's a pop song that is about Mexico. Here they're actually sort of engaging with the music of Mexico. Ironically, even though they aren't in Mexico in this movie,
Hmm.
I wish we had gotten more of that. Kind of goes from that point into more standard TV movie music. But once again, the fashion show I think had the most energy.
Yeah, I didn't really care much for the soundtrack to this film. Just like it's definitely TV movie quality, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's again it's a downgrade in that they just obviously have synthetic music used for the orchestra versus having an
yeah.
actual orchestra, and it never sounds as good, and it's like not as interesting. But I mean, they still have interesting song choices that they pick. So
Yeah, yeah. I give the sound a 2.5 out of 5.
so did I. Yeah,
Which, yeah, that leaves my final score as a 2 out of 5 or a 10 out of 25.
and I have a 10.3, which is a 2.06 star rating.
Yeah, I
Oh
won't get into
boy.
our averages because those are so close that it's like you could
I,
imagine our averages are pretty much exactly that.
this is one of the lowest scores, I think.
Yeah, that we've ever given. I
I
think you're right about
is
that.
Dreamtopia bigger than this?
Oh, it might. Let me look. I have a list of our.
I think Dreamtopia might just have the edge slightly over this. Again, I am again the judging or those two films are very different. This one I'm judging as a sequel to the high standards of Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not giving this. I. Yeah. I did not enjoy my time with this.
No, I just even just in the first 5-10 minutes, I was just so bored
Yeah.
out of my mind. Like,
So I have just looked it up, and assuming there aren't any lower scoring movies in between this and when we release, this will be the lowest scoring episode that we have both been on for. Beneath Barbie Diaries at a 2.3, above School for Good and Evil, which my sister Sarah and I did, which is at 2.
well, we still have the next film.
Yeah.
I I I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. Ah.
Yeah, we'll suffer through it and record an episode on it and hopefully it's at least a good episode. Hopefully this was at least a good episode.
If so, anyway, thank you everyone for listening, and make sure to follow us on social media. We're Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, Binging Barbie on Twitter and Serialized, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a 5-star review. And check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/Binging Barbie Podcast for exclusive content and early access to new episodes. We will be back next week with an episode on Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3. There is a subtext over that, but I don't remember what it was. And in the meantime, don't tell your kids bedtime stories if you know it will just rile them up. They chew the furniture. Anyway, bye, Papi.
Bye, Barbie. Hasta luego.